day everyone, we're over here at Yacht Grande. We're here checking out this ancient replica of the sailing ships of way back then. This one is called Nao Trinidad. We're about to go on board right now to take a tour of the inside. So let's go check out what it looks like. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Yeah,
okay.
Hey, so what's up? My name's Andy Milne. I've only been on the ship about 2 weeks. I've sailed other tall ships, but this is fairly new to this one. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Most of the people on board are from Spain. This actually was built in Spain, and it sailed over quite a bit of the world. This is a replica of the Nao Trinidad, which was one of Magellan's ships. Magellan, of course, had a fleet that successfully sailed around the world. They started out with 5 ships, 250 guys, and they came back to Spain with 1 ship, 18 guys. So, successful?
Yeah.
They made it. So some of them made. Well, yeah. You see the numbers there. This ship isn't actually old. It's just a replica. They tried to make it as much to scale as possible. So all the sizes of things are pretty much the same. The height of the mast, the length, the width.
Yeah.
Or we would say the length and the beam. The draft is 9 feet, which is about the same as his would have been. Of course, this has, since it was built 5 years ago, it has some modern things to it, like the masts and yards are made of metal for safety and maintenance reasons, just because of, of course in 1519, when the original version of this ship was built, the ship that this is modeled after, everything would have been wood. They probably would have used teak or oak.
Yeah.
The wood we used is
everything's done by hand, so we get a harness and we clip
Rocco,
outside,
which comes from South Africa.
So this one is actually made of wood?
Mostly.
Mostly.
Everything above water that you see that we're walking on, and like the side rails and stuff, the gunnels,
Yeah.
that's all wood. That's all Rocco. But the hull, what's underwater, is actually fiberglass for safety and maintenance reasons. So
Okay.
the masts are metal, the hull is fiberglass, just for the sake of wood. Takes a lot of maintenance, and especially if it's constantly getting wet, or if it's under a lot of stress, like the masts and the yard arms. The yards are the perpendicular thing, so they have mast, the yard.
Okay. Which is this we're looking at right now.
So the up and down part is the mast. The side-to-side thing with the sail connected to it are the yards.
Okay. Okay. So how is this boat powered? Does it have an engine, or does it use just the sails?
It has 2 engines. It's 2 John Deere tractor motors, basically. For the sake of trying to get into a port like this, if you tried to do that just under sail power, it'd be impossible to, park in a tight slip like this.
Yeah.
No way. So we use the engines. It's got 2 propellers, 2 engines in the back, and then a bow thruster at the front, which can move. It's a propeller that faces sideways, so it can move the front of the ship to the left or to the right.
Okay. But back in those days, they didn't use engines.
No, there were no engines.
Only sails.
No engine existed in 1519.
All right.
So that's, of course. Then of course we also have a radar and navigational equipment, a lifeboat. None of that stuff they'd have back then. And also when we climb up there, we use safety harnesses, which they didn't use back then. If you fell, but that's it. Your history. So I mean, if we tried to make the boat the same exact way as it was in the 1500s, the Coast Guard inspecting it would say, "You're not sailing that.
Yeah.
No, that's not safe by today's standards."
But it looks close enough. Huh?
Yeah, that's
close
the
enough.
idea.
Yeah.
We tried to make it look as much like the original as possible.
Okay.
And oh, also we have like, you know, toilets that flush in a galley. Back in the day, you see this drawing over here.
This one?
It's a hole.
Oh, okay.
And that's it.
Alright.
But yeah, refrigerators, things like that. Nice. So, sort of the museum part. It kind of shows some of the routes that he took and things like that. We have things written in usually English, Spanish, and French. Most of the people who work on this boat and live on it are from Spain, because it is a Spanish boat. I'm one of 4 Americans out of a crew of 14.
Okay. So this boat actually came from Spain?
Yep, it was built in Spain in 2018, and they sailed it across the Atlantic. Showing how they've made it. They really did use old school techniques and craftsmanship to...
Okay, so that's how they built this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a whole bunch, I think it was like 100 carpenters or something all worked together.
And they seem to be using ancient tools too?
Yeah, a lot of the time. Kind of cool. Yeah. People ask, where's the steering wheel? And I'll get to that in a minute. It doesn't have one. It's actually just a giant stick that you push back and forth. You push it to the left if you want to turn port. Push it to the right if you want to do starboard. I'll go show you the stick in a minute, but it connects to this here, this stick with all the grease on top.
Yeah.
Connects to that big arm. Now if you can see the wheel, it's kind of hidden by that black piece of cloth that's just sort of there for support.
Okay.
Then it goes to the back and then goes down to the rudder in the water.
Okay.
So this pole connects to this stick up here. The boat. This stick connects to the one we saw downstairs.
Okay.
This one turn left, you pull it like this, turn right, push it to the right.
So that's the steering wheel.
Yeah. The steering wheel, the helm it wasn't invented until I think the early 1700s.
Okay.
And this ship is from the early 1500s. So this is called a whipstaff. And that's how it's just basically a giant tiller.
Okay, so which is the front of the boat? I guess this
is the front. Yeah, that's the bow over there.
So when you have someone over here steering, do you have someone over here looking, or you just judge from what you could see from here?
Depends on the situation. If we're leaving a port like this and there's a lot of traffic, then we'll usually have somebody standing watch up there just to, because you can kind of look over the side and see, like, sort of see what's in front of you, but you can't see what's directly in front of you.
Right.
So you we'll have the person, they'll have a walkie-talkie, and the captain here will have a walkie-talkie.
Okay.
And we have a bell. And so this is the captain's quarters.
That's the captain.
So this is where the captain sleeps, and that's the captain's bed. And
But we went on a tour with our school of a boat. They had one of these.
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's interesting. See this little bed.
And then when we actually are going places, this top piece comes off, and this is where the throttles, the levers for the two engines are.
Yeah.
And we also have a way to, we sometimes use that stick, but we also have a thing that hooks up to it, so the captain can just control that stick with a smaller joystick.
Oh.
Like a hydraulic mechanism.
Okay.
And it, you know, it has sort of an autopilot, really, if we're using engines, where it put in the coordinates on the GPS if it's a straight shot, and it'll just keep us aimed at that point on its own.
And it will direct itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what we do a lot of times is we'll use the engine and the sails. Depends how strong the wind is. It has to be pretty much at our back. But if we have the wind in our favor, which we came up from Martinique before this, and the wind was behind us, we set some of the sails, and with just the engine we were doing about 6 knots. Once we set the sails, it bumped us up to about 9. So, you know, it makes a difference. It's almost like a hybrid, I guess.
Okay, so when you say 9 knots, 9 knots equivalent to miles per hour is?
It's like
Roughly.
Roughly like 13,
Okay.
12, so something like that.
Okay.
It's not built for speed.
But you get there anyways.
Oh yeah. And you know, we're not pushing the engine super hard. We're trying to save on gas.
Okay.
And then we have the poop deck, which
This-
has nothing to do with going to the bathroom. P-O-U-P-E, it's a French word.
Yeah.
It means essentially the back, or the stern.
Okay. So this is it right here. These boxes.
In these boxes we have some of our navigation equipment.
Yeah.
We put it away when we're trying to make it look like in museum mode, as we say. But inside here we have like the radar and an EPIRB, which is like something that will, well, it's like if it touches water, it'll light up. It's like a, you know, emergency stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty good view from back here.
Yep. So I guess this is the lookout tower, right?
Yeah, they call it the crow's nest.
Crow's nest.
I mean, we don't really. In the old days, they would have a lookout up there, keeping an eye on the horizon for other ships and for land and stuff. But we have a GPS and stuff. We don't really need to do that.
But naturally, that's what they use.
Yeah, that's in old days. There'd be somebody up there.
Okay.
Which I can only imagine, because when we're underway and the waves get big, this thing rocks back and forth like crazy.
I noticed.
And down here, you feel it. Up there,
Yeah.
you feel it way more.
So this one would be left to the thrill seeker.
Yeah. Or the youngest, newest person on the staff.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's about.
It's a really cool ship though. How long will you all be on St. Thomas? How much longer?
We leave Monday. For
Okay.
Key West.
Okay.
And that's going to be a long trip. That's a lot of distance to cover, so we're probably going to be at sea like a week.
Yeah.
And the way we do that is 3 groups of 4 for 4 hours at a time. So 4 hours on, 8 hours off. So the last trip we did from Martinique up to here was about 2.5 days. I did 4 a.m. to 8 a.m., 8-hour break, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., 8-hour break. Which I really like that shift because I got to see every single sunrise and sunset.
Oh, so that's at your advantage.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, nice. So thanks a lot for the tour.
Yeah, of course.
And you can check out my channel on YouTube. It's Nico Adventures VI.
What, can I
So
plug something? My YouTube channel?
yeah, no problem. You could add
It's called, well, it's called Cool Boobs.
Cool Boobs.
All one word.
How do you spell that?
C00LB00BS. Or if you type in Kill Bill hair dryer, it's the first thing that comes up.
Okay, so what's your channel about?
It's just dumb comedy videos mostly.
Okay,
Music.
that's nice. Cool, we'll check it out. Alright.
Y'all have a great day.
Careful, you know.
Yeah, just come in. You will come.
Yeah, let's go in. Let's go in the home.
Hold tight. Okay, so that's it for our tour on the Nao Trinidad. A good little outing if you want to take the kids out, if you want to take the family out. You come check it out down at Yacht Haven.